Animal messages from the Animals Remember Spirit Oracle deck. Like a meditation, each card is designed to give you a message of peace for your spiritual journey. Peace. I'm Courtney Rohan, Courtney Hawk Angel, an artist, writer, and Heal Thy Expression facilitator. After almost 2 decades in the public school classroom as an English teacher, I've decided to explore my artistry to develop and share my gifts in new ways, to teach with new tools and guides. Recently, in a class, my teacher shared that because animals and nature do not have egos, they naturally respond with nothing to oppose their view of reality. How much can we grow if we too dropped off the veil to see each other and ourselves for who we really are? Animals Remember Spirit Oracle cards are an opportunity to be uplifted, to find the wisdom and compassion to support your story and spiritual journey through a look at how animals in their natural habitat express themselves to thrive. With the animal message offered directly on each semi-gloss card, along with 3 symbolic words and a practice, there is no need for a guidebook. Use Animals Remember Spirit cards to access the animal guide and see more of who you really are easily without flipping any pages. Here's how it all began. When my meditation practice guided me to a narrative inclined to authentic expression of animals, I opened to the adventure. I could never have known it would go this far. To bring the Animals Remember Spirit Oracle deck to life, I wrote the messages, designed the layout, watercolored each image, and learned how to sew. More on that later. Developing skills to express myself and share what I was learning. When I started receiving spirit animal messages about 2 years ago, the process began with animals emerging during my meditations. With my eyes closed, the shape of the animal would come into view, and I'd say aloud in my mind the name of the animal and wait for confirmation. Turtle, bear, fish. The image dissipating literally before my eyes, all the confirmation I'd need before another animal would emerge. I was receptive to this. I thought it was a fun way to engage my practice. More animals emerged, flowing in and out of my mind's eye like wisps of light morphing to take shape. This happened for months before I realized that spirit was communicating with me. I think most artists would agree that their work comes through them onto the canvas or page, inspired by something they were shown. Most would agree that they were mused forward, and the work that came through them was only informed by their hand and heart, while something bigger than them made it so. The work of identifying animals was my heart practice. I was amused to follow the messages, looking up the animals that would appear after my meditation each day, only to see synchronicities throughout the day, informing the day's wisdom and assisting me to find compassion for myself and the others that I'd engage. I'd very much like for you to have this at your fingertips too. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is truly ready, the teacher will disappear. Tao Te Ching. Animals Remember Spirit cards are spirit animal messages that read like meditations. They remind us that nature and all her creations have wisdom we can access for the good of all. Each spirit animal has a unique message to share with you. Throughout the years, as the cards came together, I worked on other creations as a part of residencies and in my personal time. Through this process of becoming, I found that my love for animals and their messages were supportive to the climate and social justice work that I do with assemblages made of trash, the paper making that I entertain using my old doctor bills, or the crocheting of plastic bag yarn, plarn, to make new bags and a wall-sized quilt to depict how one is able to make refuse fresh for reuse, like my brothers and sisters in impoverished spaces and my ancestors managed to do to enliven their circumstances and survive. And the pouches for the Oracle deck? You guessed it, upcycled, using textile scraps from local companies' discarded samples. To complete the project, I have begun taking sewing classes and have already begun creating pouches using the scrap textiles I gathered. I've loved teaching English over the years and creating curriculum for students to enjoy. I love language and all the myriad ways that we're able to express ourselves with it. As a yoga teacher and spiritual creative, I've guided many students through not only the use of breath, movement, and sound, but bigger, deeper, into themselves. Not everyone has this privilege. Not everyone can afford to take classes or to buy these cards, even. But my intention is to share these cards in third spaces using workshops, in my classes, and online and as gifts to provide access to these messages and practices in communities who are often overlooked. The money raised for this project will bring communities together to be uplifted, to grow deeper awareness, and to thrive. As a woman in a Black body, my stories share a unique idea about liminality between race and gender inequalities. At times, I have felt my voice in certain spaces unheard. I have felt unseen. And yet, Black women voices can serve as a measure of how much freedom and justice is possible for those who face the greatest forms of marginalization. As a multidisciplinary artist, one of my roles is as a storyteller. Writing prose or poetry to share has always brought me joy. In the space of oracle cards, many have offered their voices from all walks of life, and yet Black women do not tend to create oracle decks. I wonder why. During a search, I discovered a Reddit post that stated only 10 to 15 writers, healers, or artists who are Black, women, have created oracle decks that have had major publication. This saddens and propels me. Given my own work with the Animals Remember Spirit Oracle deck, I am part of a relatively small but growing community of Black women creating original oracle systems to share. As we receive the message from the spirit animal that emerges, we take a step closer to what resonates with our truest self and how we can practice being more of that more consistently. We need a total of $5,000 to make this deck happen. However, raising additional funds will allow for some additions and improvements to the overall quality of the final product. Thank you for your support as I continue to teach and share how animals remember spirit and how we can too.